The United States has agreed on a deal that could see the complete withdrawal of its troops from its longest-running war in the next 14 months.
We recognize America shouldn't fight in perpetuity in the graveyard of empires if we can help Afghans forge peace. And we have respect. We believe that the Afghan people are ready to chart their own course forward.
For the past 18 months, the Taliban and the US government have been negotiating in Qatar, finally agreeing on a plan aimed at cementing a permanent peace. As part of the deal, the Taliban will not allow Afghanistan to be used by Al-Qaeda, and it will continue to fight against ISIL. Taliban say the 7-day reduction of violence last week was a test for them. Now comes a test for the US commitment. It must facilitate the release of 5,000 Taliban prisoners in a matter of days.
We are committed to this agreement to enforce it. The Afghan nation has been suffering for the past 4 decades. We have suffered tremendously, and I hope that with the withdrawal of all foreign forces from Afghanistan, that the Afghan nation under the Islamic government will embark on a new prosperous life.
While the deal was signed in Doha, a ceremony was also taking place in the Afghan capital, Kabul. US Secretary of Defense and NATO chief sat alongside the Afghan president. His government wasn't part of the negotiations, and the Taliban still doesn't recognize it. But under the US-Taliban deal, the Afghan government will ask the UN Security Council to lift sanctions on the Taliban.
Our agenda for discussion with the Taliban will be wider than their discussions with the United States. They should be ready to discuss their relationship with the state and non-state sponsors, a verifiable system for cutting off their ties with all transnational terrorist groups, their dependence and involvement with narcotics and other transnational criminal organizations positively.
The foreign minister from neighboring Pakistan with long-standing ties to the Taliban was in Doha for the signing.
We have nothing to hide. We are transparent and we are open. So Pakistan has been playing a positive role and will continue to play that positive role.
There was a big contingent of Taliban in Doha to show their support for the deal. They say it is overdue.
Today is a huge historic day. A similar day like today was celebrated by our ancestors a century ago after defeating the Brits, and then 30 years ago for defeating the Soviets. Today we witness our leadership signing a withdrawal deal of occupying American forces and victory deal of our holy warriors.
The US government says victory will be achieved when the Afghan people live with no...
तालिबान और अमेरिका ने हथियार फेंककर हाथ में ला लिए। पाकिस्तानी कोशिशों से अमन के ख्वाब की 19 साल बाद ताबीर। दोहा में तारीखी अमन मुआहदे पर दस्तखत। पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, भारत और अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा के सिफारतकार भी शरीक। तारीख साज़ लम्हात पूरी दुनिया में बराह रास्त नश्र।